clever jet. When Duke's on my whole road to the best of time of day with me, I tell me special words and then they ask me out to tea. Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though they sound a bit, it's something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you always know it goes. Well, you can say it back with docious alliexpialidocious, but that's taking it a bit too far, don't you think? So when the cat has got your tongue, there's no need to dismay. Some of this was and then you got a lot to say.
But better use it carefully, you really can change your life. For example,
Yes.
one night I said to me, girl, and I'm girl's wife. Oh, you lovely thing she is too. She is
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Awesome. Come on out, 4 5s and 2 3s. K1s, you guys can move to the sides. Hey, welcome. Good morning to Kensington. We're so glad that you guys are with us. Obviously, today we're really excited because we've got the Kaleo Kids music program here, really kind of leading us throughout the day in an incredible message. My name is Rob Kucherin. I'm on the worship team here, and I'm also the Kaleo music director. So this is a lot of fun to be able to just do this with these kids. But we want to take a few moments because this is not just about what they've been doing over the last 12 weeks. This is really about coming together and celebrating what God is doing as a community, as a family, as a church. And we just want you guys to celebrate with us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys to stand on up, if you would. And we're going to be led in worship here, which is just a chance for us to really just thank God for what he's doing. But we want to sing this song on out, and we want you guys to join us. So let's go. Hit it. Come on. We want to hear you too. Come on.
When night has fallen, when fear is coming, still you're calling me. Faith is lost, my hope exhausted. You will be
upon me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking now like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, feel it breaking now, breaking now, breaking now. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking now like an echo. Can you feel it? Your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking now like an echo. Echo in my soul.
Hey, everybody, give it up one more time for these fantastic children. Thank you, sir, Robert Coutron. Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Ryan Morrill. I'm part of our Kensington staff here, and so thrilled you've chosen to join us on this wonderful day in May and get a chance to support these kiddos and what Kaleo is doing and their chance to show us who Jesus is today. By the way, if you're visiting today, you're here to see these children, you're connected to these families in some way. I just want you to know, if you're looking for a church home, we'd love for Kensington to be the place to do that. We have a place out in the lobby. It's called Hub, big orange sign. Stop by there after the service. Lots of people there to help answer any questions, help you navigate this place, get you connected here. Because again, we'd love you to be back here as much as possible in the future. So we got a couple things for you today. First of all, how many excited about 70 degrees today? Yes! Winter is over, at least for today. So I wish we had windows right there. I just would love to see outside. It would be so wonderful. Anyway, as we talk about warmer temperatures, we talk about the rest of May. We got an exciting experience coming up, and my friend Kim is going to share a little bit about that.
Yes, for sure. We have Smash Retreat coming up for all the ladies in the house. Come on, let's hear it for Smash. Yes, I love it. Smash is taking place this year. We got 2 more weeks, so the 17th through the 19th of May up at Spring Hill Camp. This year, we're doing every year is an awesome theme. I'm super excited about this year. It's placed. We were placed exactly where we are for a purpose, and what that is and how God is working in that in us and through us. So we have some amazing sessions, amazing worship, all kinds of fun. But for you guys, special here at Orion, we really feel passionate about women, and we just want to bless a few people, especially as we're heading into Mother's Day. And you do not need to be a mom to participate in this. We think it's super important. Every woman is pouring into a child in some way, whatever that looks like. So if you would love to go to Smash, maybe you're already registered, and if you are already going to be a part of this. But if you haven't registered yet and you would love to go, but this year's just a little challenging, go out in the lobby, put your name and phone number on this fancy little pink piece of paper, and we are going to draw 3 names. We're giving away 3 registrations to Smash, and we are going to announce those next week on Mother's Day. So, come on, that's exciting. Is that exciting? Yeah. So, put your name on this. Again, if you're already registered, you will already be a part of the drawing, and these people will know tomorrow. I will call you personally tomorrow if you win the registration so you can plan accordingly, and then we will announce you and celebrate you at the Mother's Day service. So we would love for you to be with us. It's an awesome weekend. Whether you know people to come along with or you're coming by yourself, I can't encourage you enough to come and step in. We're going to be in the lobby. I'd love to chat with you, and hope you can join us.
It's an event like no other here at Kensington. And women, ladies, we hope you can join us for that weekend. Hey, on your way in today, you got a card that says Jump In with K Kids. And as we approach warmer weather, we are already eyes on summer here. And throughout the year, we have a program that takes that takes place 50 weeks a year. Basically, whenever there's a service here, we pretty much have a full kids program that is running on the other side of the building. We do that so many of you, if you're a parent in this room, hopefully you appreciate that, because we want you to be able able to enjoy this service. We also want to make sure that kids are hearing in their version who Jesus is and what he's about, and it's all age appropriate for them. As we get into summer, though, lots of our volunteers have to be away. They go away, travel on vacations, maybe get a little bit of rest here and there, but we still need to have a great, safe, and impactful program back there, and this is where you come into play with that. We are asking if you would be willing to take a week or 2 or 3 somewhere in your summer and just jump in with us and come back and volunteer and serve. And in doing that, you get to impact a child's life, whether it's elementary, even holding a baby. You make it a safe place for them. You make them want to come back and to be a part of that experience. And we know, parents in the room, if your kids want to go to church, well, then you're probably going to go to church as well. So that's why we want it to be a great experience back there. But you're not only impacting that child's life, you're actually impacting the parents' experience here, because when the parents know their kids are safe, they want to be here, they get to come in here and experience an incredible life-impacting message and an hour of their life that can honestly change the trajectory of their home. And so the parents take this experience back to their home, and the home begins to grow with Jesus as well. And so you're not just impacting a child's life for an hour, you actually could be thinking and impacting the legacy of a home, and not just that generation, but generations to come as well. And so we are asking you to fill this card out. You can even do it here in the next few minutes. Just put your name, put the date, email, cell phone number. We'll get in touch with you over the next week. You don't have to know the exact dates. We'll figure out a great time for you to go, whatever works for your schedule. And when the offering basket comes by, just drop that right in there, and we would be so appreciative. And so thank you so much for those of you that have done this in the past. We hope you join us. And for those newbies out there that want to try this, jump in with us. It's going to be a great experience this summer. Final thing is we have a video that we want to show you just in regards to summer camp, what you're experiencing here on this stage. Kids are here with us in the audience today. We want you to get a little taste of a great event that we have here this summer for our Kaleo Kids camp. Watch this.
Hey, are you a kid like me? A kid who loves to dance around, sing at the top of your lungs, entertain everyone around you? Then listen up. You've got to join us for Spark Camp, a crazy fun performing arts camp where we get to dance and sing, all while being inspired to use our talent to share God's love. Each day, we rotate for fast-paced classes in music, dance, and drama, as well as a large group time where we learn about God's love. And at the end, we put in an amazing live concert performance to show off all we have learned. Don't miss your chance to make new friends, grow in confidence, and experience the joy of being loved by Jesus. Space is limited, so sign up today.
So the Spark Kaleo Kids Summer Camp here, full week of August. Want to invite you to be part of that. If you're an elementary student in the audience today, this is a great experience for you. What you're seeing on the stage today, you get to be a part of. You get to act, sing, dance. There's writing, as well as just learning the production, the video cameras, the lights, the sound stuff. There's, you name it. It's a great experience for kids. There's a table out in the lobby. They're also selling these shirts out there today. Great shirts. They're wonderful. They're soft. It's awesome. Stop by. You can support the Kaleo Kids program by picking one of these up. Following. So we're so glad you're here today. Thanks for joining us. Kids are going to come back out here in just a second. Before that, though, we ask you to stand up, greet a few people around you.
Well, hello to you. Good gracious, it's grand to see you great folks. We are here to give backstory, at least the bold strokes. I'm a Huggas, that's what we are named. A kind of troll or gnome, but not quite the same. Our island is called Nog. We live on the shore. Simple farmers and fishers, we don't ask for more.
At last there was a time of sadness and shame. We've come here today so you won't do the same. We let our hurts hurt others we love. Instead of forgiveness, it was shoved and be shoved.
We came to the brink of an awful disaster. Our leader thought fast and then acted faster.
We brought these 2 children to save us back then, but the saving that came was not the same in the end.
Where we thought we need to fight and defend, they taught us a lesson that we still pass on again. Now, dim the lights, lean in close, and attend as we tell the great story of how a foe became a friend.
Leah, look out! You could have got that. I couldn't have. I can't see it good. You're gonna lose the game for us once again. I am not. You are. Leah, look out! It's the edge of the cliff. I see it. You can get that giant glacier while I get the crystals. You get him. I'm trying to fight off these Yermithas. They can fly? Oh no! Mara, you're letting them through! Look out! Come on! Are you kidding me? You could have gotten that. Leah, you know he's got my shot. I mean, right there. No, mine's are. This is all your fault. This is not going to go well if we can't work together. I was trying, but you. Okay, I get it. We're both mad. We just gotta work this out. Well, I don't want to work this out. Well, neither do I. But Mom says we have to stay down here for another half hour. She left me in charge, and I want to play this game. No, she didn't. Yes, she did, and we're going to play this game. I don't know. Do you really want to play with me? Yes, I would love to play with you. See? You're doing it again. You're making fun of me. I am not. Yes, you are. I'm going to always get into it just because you're older than me. Fine, then I don't want to play with you. Fine. Let's just forget about all that and start over, okay? Okay. Deal. Too slow. Are you kidding me?
Begin your journey, heroes.
Oh, good, it restarted us by the trails. A little help here? You're gonna lose a game for us! Oh, I'm about to lose the game. You're blaming me? Yeah, who else is it to blame? Hey, quit pushing me! Pushing you? Quit pushing me! What's going on?
We are the Huggas from Gaynor Shore. We lost our crystals, now we're crystal poor. Will you help us? You gotta help us out. That mean Unhugga took our energy, and now he's hiding out inside a tree. Will you help us? You gotta help us out. We're running out of time, and darkness follows close behind. We gotta find them fast. There's only one who knows where they're at.
It's that Unhugga guy.
Riddled, don't worry, he's at.
It's almost centenary jubilee. We need the crystals, but we lost the key. Will you help us? You gotta help us out.
You must listen to your poet king.
'Cause if you don't, we could lose everything.
Will you help us? You gotta help us out. We're running out of time, and darkness follows close behind. We gotta find them fast.
have drawn you in. By our great power. And now you must do. Could you please maintain some dignity here?
Sorry, boss. It's just at that part when we all say doo-doo.
Just once I'd like this to go properly. Is that too much to ask? And now you must do. Oh, forget it. You have to do what we tell you, or else.
Right. Who are you?
We are the Huggas of Gunnog, and I am their poet king.
Wait a minute. We were just playing Here's a Good Dog back in our living room, and now we're here? What? I'm sorry, but I think there's been a mistake. Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed, but we're kids. Human kids.
That's the whole point. We can never do what I mean is you are our prisoners now.
Prisoners!
And if you ever want to return back home, you will do exactly what we tell you to.
And what exactly do you want us to do?
The centenary jubilee is seen on the horizon. The crystals in the ground have now begun to ripen. Our life force, our strength, our joy, and our best weapon. 100 years we've waited, and now the harvest beckons. That was a good one. Did you get it?
So the crystals are ready to be harvested, and I'm not sure what the rest of that meant. Yeah. What does this have to do with us?
It was in the prophecy. Unhugga for Stetlin, Hugga is Bignorian, Meatoid Mythelian, Brogabais Morthorelian. Halid becoming foreseen, Aglacia, Gawak, Gallon, Gablisian.
Well, gee, thanks. That clears things up.
Let me explain. Our crystals are dying, and only one Hugga knows how to harvest them. She was a scribe until one day, filled with malice, when she tried to take the crown for herself. And so I banished her, and now she is only known as the Unhugga. But Unhugga took the instructions for the harvest with her, dooming us to darkness. 7 years we have waited, and grieved, and lamented, and bemoaned, and bewailed, and broiled!
Wait, broiled. Doesn't it mean cooking? Yeah, just like a steak.
Oh, I thought it was an, academic term. Scratch that last one from the record. Anyways, we have called you here, the heroes, to assist in our hour of need.
I got bad news for you, buddy. We're not actually heroes. Yeah, that was just in the video game. We don't actually have any of those special powers or anything.
Oh, well, that's kind of a bummer. Okay, Huggas, get rid of them.
No, wait, Step back, get back. We can do it. Yeah, we can be the heroes.
Oh, goody, glad to hear it.
So, how do we find her?
Through night dark forests you must go, and across the mountains cold with snow. At last in caverns deep below, follow the slimy worms that glow.
Hey, just like the game.
But hear this. If you don't return before sunrise on the day of the centenary jubilee, 3 days hence, the crystals will rot, the sun will come to rise, and we will be doomed to darkness forever.
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, no kidding. Well, let's hit this show on the road. Yeah, let's go. And I'm in charge. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
Begin your journey, heroes.
Oh, wow, this is a dark forest. Night dark, you could say. Hey, I think I see the path over here. Yeah, me too. Careful. Bats, get off! Just long arms, this way! Whew, that was a close one. Way too close. Ew, gross, spiders! Come on, Mark, give me your hand. I'm not going through that thing. Well, too bad. Ew, 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 ew. Gross.
Proceed next level.
Brr, it's freezing. Snowballs, it's the glacier. Look out. Come on, along the cliff. Don't look down. I already did. Be careful. I'm slipping. No, you're not. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm slipping. No, I really am. Oh, man. Now I have to do this all over again. Quit complaining. This way. Hold on. We're almost there. We can do this. We made it!
To the next level.
Ooh, this is creepy. Yeah. Hey, look, a glowworm! Which way did it go? There it is! There's two of them! It went that way! No, it's going that way! Whoa, look at them! Whoa. How do they do that? I don't know. Wait. Look at all of them. There's so many. Wow. Whoa. I think they're friendly. I sure hope so. Hey, look at that one. There's so many of them. Whoa.
Game over.
What is this place? And my mom thinks my room's messy. Who dares enter here? Oh, it is I, we, us. We're the heroes of the prophecy. Because I haven't talked in a while. Who are you, and what are you doing in my cave? Oh, well, we're kids, human kids. And while we were playing this game, pretend, not real, and there was this noise, and then it was real, or you guys are real, or pretend? The Huggas sent us. Ah, I see. You do? Did you see their fearless leader, the Poet King? Don't tell me. He said I'm evil and sent you to save the day. Listen, none of this was my fault. You gotta know there's two sides to every story. The king and I were really close. I practically lived under his nose, used to jot down every word. It seemed so absurd. It was my job. At first it wasn't bad, all the beautiful stories that made us glad. But the king just got worse. Couldn't hold a verse, and I tried to warn you, but nobody heard a word. Said no, I write whatever I want and keep it all here in my cave. I'll never forget, I'll never forgive, and I like to keep it that way.
So many poems that don't even rhyme, so many parties that she was a climb. She remembered when it hurt, it just keeps getting worse. So many feasts with so much food, no gluten-free options that he could choose. So she writes it down for keeps, thinks about it when she sleeps. Yeah, she sees the worst of everybody. She'd rather stay in here. He can write whatever she wants and keep it all here in her cave. She'll never forget that she likes to keep it that way. She'll write whatever she wants and keep it all here in her cave. She'll never forget that she likes to keep it that way.
writing down everything bad that's ever happened to you? Yep. And I'm never going back. Well, we tried. I know a lost cause gonna see one. Let's go, Mara. Wait. What about the darkness? Braga Brismore Throyan. Wait, what did you just say? Braga Brismore. Am I saying it wrong? No. You're saying that right, but where did you hear that? From the prophecy that said the heroes would come. Forslian Aglacia Guacablician. Oh no. Oh what? He found my scroll, didn't he? That's why you said you were the heroes. That wasn't a prophecy. That was just something I wrote for fun. So there is no prophecy? Nope. And no special power to harvest? None. And were you really banished for trying to steal the crown? Not even close. I left. That poet king took me for granted one too many times. I'll never forgive him. My own brother didn't care enough. Your brother? The king is your brother? Yeah, my big bossy brother. And now he's messed everything up. Have they even started harvesting crystals? No. No crystals? Not good. Not good at all. Listen, if you don't come help the Huggas harvest the crystals, they're gonna keep us as prisoners and we're never gonna get home. I can't go back. You don't know what it was like. Following him around, writing down everything he said. I got zero respect. Listen, I know what it's like to be angry at someone. And I know what it's like to have a bossy sibling. Leah, please. We fight all the time, Leah and I. But at the end of the day, she's my sister, and I love her. Aw, I love you too, Mara. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that you're the one stuck here in a cave all alone because you won't forgive him. Wow, I never thought of it that way. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life writing down everything bad that's ever happened to you? The Huggas need you. We all need you. You do? They do? Well, what are y'all standing there for? Don't we have a deadline of darkness and doom? Let's go save the harvest!
Ooh, I got it. What if we do this wild dance to make the crystals rise up from the ground? That is never gonna work.
Ooh, I know. Let's all get shovels and start digging for the crystals.
Nah, I'm way too lazy.
Me too.
Two times in one day. Get a new stick, man. The dawn approaches near at hand. The birds begin their chatter. And lo, the heroes are not returned to save us from disaster. Huggas all now gather near, for doom has come upon us. Hug your neighbors. Take their hands. The day is lost to darkness. We must forge anew a life apart and seek a brighter pasture.
Hello, brother.
Sister!
What were you going to rhyme with pasture?
Oh, that, well, I was thinking maybe plaster, master. That is, we have been studying the prophecy.
Prophecy? Stop unjilling everything, aren't you?
Don't you start that now. You don't get to criticize. You left us.
I let take me for granted, never listen to what was I supposed to do? Let things go to ruin? For the last 87 years, I've been fine without you. And where are all your crystals?
Look, on the third mile of the prophecy, it says...
That isn't a prophecy. It's a story. It's all imaginary.
How do you know?
Because I wrote it.
Oh, well, that changes things. It was a good story. I didn't know you wrote poetry, too.
Well, I do. I have for years.
So, do we still need the crystals?
Of course, without them, our society will cease to exist. See, I knew they're important. Oh, shush. This isn't your moment. But there is no secret to harvesting crystals. You just... Ugh, we cannot have a jubilee with dying crystals, so you need to postpone that. And we'll have to divide into groups. Harvesters and sorters to divide the crystals by size and... I'm doing it again, aren't I? Yeah, telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
It's all right. Well, you heard her. You all harvest. You all divided, so let's get moving. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I never meant to take you for granted.
I forgive you.
You do?
Yeah, I actually do. And can you forgive me for never trusting you and being a know-it-all?
Of course I forgive you. I could use your help.
All right, but no more recording everything you say. That was the worst.
Right, none of that.
They call us the Huggas. We'll probably hug ya. We found our crystals. It's time to sing along. We're better together. Whatever weather. We can't do it alone, so won't you sing along? We're better together. Forgiving each other. Oh, we're sisters and brothers. All these worlds to discover. When we forgive each other. Yeah, we're better together. There's love to discover when we forgive each other.
Oh, wait, guys. Unhugga, King,
Yes?
what about us?
Oh, well, you can be harvesters or sorters. I don't really care.
No, we mean, how do we get back home?
Oh, right. I have no idea. You tell them.
What? You mean we're stuck here? Of course not. Just turn off all your gear and you'll be back in your living room. None of this was real. We're just characters in a video game. Wait, so you mean this is all in our heads? Yep, and that's the best part. Good luck, you two.
Winner.
Wow. That was wow. Yeah, I think Mom was right. These video games are getting way too realistic. Yeah. I'm gonna go play outside, I think. You wanna come? Sure. How about we go play on the swings? Come on!
All right, I want to hear it one more time for the kids. Give it up. That, as you can imagine, is a ton of work. Marin's leaving right now, and Rob Coutron and H, and there's like an army of leaders that take care of that. And I'm telling you, if you're backstage right now, there's like 138,000 kids. They're everywhere. Glowworms are crawling around on the floor. It's pretty amazing what they pull off over the last 12 weeks. They've learned all that in the last 12 weeks. It isn't just an arts program, it's really a spiritual discipleship program as well. So it's actually awesome. And we do this, many of you know this, but if you don't know, we do this because we love children. We believe they're adults in the future. They're going to be running this place, taking this place, sitting where you are, reaching this world for the kingdom of God. And so we love them and pour into them. And that's why we take 2 weekends a year, and they do the whole thing. I get like 3 minutes to preach, all right? I'm kidding. I get a little more than that, but we do that for them. And I got to tell you, this last week, Ann and I, we're grandparents now. Many of you know that. We spent Saturday to Wednesday. See, everybody's leaving. I'm getting up. They're leaving. I get it. We spent Saturday to Wednesday with 3 of our grandkids in Denver, Colorado. We've got a 4-year-old Olive out there, a 2-year-old Porter, and a 1-year-old Holden, a foster baby that they're adopting. So we're out there, and so we are living the life this last week of parents. And let me just say to all the parents of these kids up here and younger, God bless you. You have to be exhausted. We had, poopy diapers. We had poopy underwear because one of them's transitioning from diapers, and it had to happen when Ann left, and he had diarrhea, and I had, anyway, do I need to get into it? Anyway, that's what we did for 4 days. We got on the plane on Wednesday afternoon, and Ann looked at me, and she goes, haven't talked to you in 4 days. How you doing? We're just exhausted. So parents, I forgot how wonderful it is. It's awesome, and yet you're exhausted, right? So I'm going to do this. Parents, I want you to stand up. I want all the parents, all these kids that are in this show to stand up. I know you're in here. You're going to be in here 3 times. Stand up, give them a hand. These are the parents, all these kids. Thank you for putting your kids in this program. And let me also do this. You can be seated. I want the grandparents to stand up as well because you're more important anyway, all right, because I'm a grandparent now. I'm kidding. Give yourselves a hand, which is great. Glad you're here. You knew who they were. They're sitting right here and they're videoing the whole thing. Even though we've got a live production video thing, it's going to be awesome. But I will say this. The good thing is that your kids are in it. The bad thing is you got to listen to me 3 times, all right? But it's short, all right? So here's what I do. The amazing thing about what you just watched, which was all originally written by our Kaleo Kids team, had a very profound message intertwined through it. And I don't know if you caught it. I hope you did. But they were talking as kids, but they were talking about something very deep. In fact, I think they were talking about something that if you and I as adults or children don't get this and don't do this in life, I mean this one action, if you do it, it makes your life much, much better. If you don't do it, and it's really hard to do, by the way, it will eat your soul from the inside out. The thing they were talking about, the whole thing was about one topic. Who knows what it is? It's one of the most important words you will ever have to process in your entire life. And I don't care if you're 5 years old or 65 years old. This word will never go away. It'll be a part of your life every single day you're on the planet till the day you die. And if you don't do this one well, it will eat your soul from the inside out. And you know people that haven't done it well, and maybe some of you haven't. It's a big deal, and they spent the whole day sort of developing this. In fact, the song at the end of the day was written by 12-year-old Jack, and it's titled this word. What is it? Forgiveness. The whole thing was about forgiveness. And here's the amazing thing about life, that you figure out, even as a 5-year-old, but if you've lived a few years, you know this is true. There was a man that once said, you will not be able to get through life without someone hurting you. Guess who said that? He said it's impossible, in fact, to live life without being hurt at some point or multiple times in your life. Guess who said that? Jesus said that. If you were here a couple weeks ago, we presented Jesus as the Son of God. Why do we believe that? Because he rose from the dead. If you don't believe that, do what I do. Do your homework and see if he really did. I think you'll find out the evidence is overwhelming. So he said he was the Son of God. Then he proved it. We believe he is. And then he said, as you read his journals about his life, I'll read it to you. In Luke 17, a book in the New Testament, one of the first eyewitness accounts of Jesus' life, Luke said this. He said, then he said to his disciples, it is impossible but that offenses will come, but woe to him through whom they come. He says it's impossible to live life without being offended at some point. Now, let me define an offense for you. This is just my definition, but an offense is this. An offense is intentional or unintentional act or words that hurt us. Sometimes they can be intentional. Somebody wants to say something or to do something to hurt you. Sometimes they don't even know they're doing it, or they want to do it, but they do it in an intentional way. But they say something or do something to you or somebody you love, and it hurts you. That's an offense. And Jesus said, you're not going to get through life without that happening. And by the way, sometimes we're the one that offends others, but today we're going to talk about when it's somebody that offends us. So he says it's impossible to get through life. And it's really interesting. The word in the Greek, because Luke's gospel was originally written in a very specific dialect of Greek called Koine Greek, and so the words are very specific. The word for offense is actually the word scanned, which is bait. So he says an offense is like a bait. It's like a lure that is drawing you into something. Now here's the thing. When you and I are offended, some of you were offended this morning, some of you were offended last week, some of you were offended 20 years ago and you're still holding on to it. Because here's the thing. When somebody offends us, unintentionally or intentionally says something or does something to hurt us, we have a choice, right? We can hold on to it, we can let it go. And by the way, these offenses can be really minor stuff. You know, we've been traveling a lot, Ann and I, because of our marriage book. And like I said, this week, we actually flew to Minneapolis and did a blended conference for blended families, and then flew to Denver and flew back. And we've been doing this quite a bit lately. So I've been spending some time at the airport. Have you ever been offended at the airport? I'll tell you where you get offended at the airport. The gate. Here's what happens at the gate. It's so hilarious to watch. And I love what Brian Regan, a comedian, says this. He does a stick on this. He says, you know, when you're at the gate and you're getting ready for them to call your section to go up, he says, they say over the loudspeaker, now we need the medallion people to come up. And he says, somehow that gets translated, because here's what happens. He says, it must come out of the loudspeaker, get up right now and rush to the gate. This is the last plane out of Vietnam. Because everybody, have you noticed it? Everybody gets up, and then everybody's getting in line like this, right? And I look down, and we're always like level 18, you know? We don't ever have first class or medallion or any of that special stuff. There used to be just 2, by the way, first coach. Now it's, you got this, and you got this, and you got this, right? So everybody rushes up there, and then they're all scurrying up. You ever seen this? Right? And so I look down, I got main 1. So I'm like level 6. It really is. It's like 8 things. You think main's like the second one. It's like 6. And so I'm standing there, and a guy scoots right up in front of me, and I see his phone, and I look down, it's main 2. And he's cutting in front of me, literally like bumping into me. You know, trying to be nice like he doesn't know he's doing it, but he's bumping into me. So finally I just step back, and guess what? I'm offended. I am offended at this point, because I'm like, you're main 2, but I don't say anything. Because I'm a pastor, and I hope he never finds out I'm a pastor, because I stared at him like, you know? That's what you do when you're offended. You look at people really mean. You don't say anything. You just like, I'm offended by you right now. What are you doing? And then he's like, here, children, come on up here. And they're all main 2, and I'm main 1. And I'm like, he scooped me out of the way, and then you like put your feet down real hard so you can't move. Anybody been there? Come on. It happens all the time. If you haven't been offended at a gate at an airport, I'll tell you when you're going to be offended today. When you get out there in the parking lot after the service. Trust me, you're going to be offended by somebody. What are you cutting in front of me? What are you traffic people telling me to go over here? We hear stories every week. People say, I'm not parking where you tell me to park. They're offended by our parking people, even though we've studied this and we know what we're saying. It happens all the time. That's a minor offense. But let me tell you something. When somebody does something to offend you, here's what we do. We pick up a stone. Not literally. Kids, don't ever do this. Don't ever throw this, but we hold on to something right here. We stick it away in our soul, and it hurts. And here's what we think. There's 2 ways you can deal with an offense. What I say? First one is this. Hold on to it. I call this the tight fist of the grudge. It becomes a grudge that you hold on to somebody. Obviously, I'm not talking about somebody at an airport. That's nothing to a real offense. But when somebody's really hurt you, said something, did something that hurt you, we tend to tight-fist it and we hold on. You know what I call this? I call this payback. Because we're going to pay them back. We're going to get revenge. Why? Because they deserve payback. It may not be we're going to hurt them. We're just going to cut off the relationship with them, right? And if it's something minor, it's a little stone like this. But here's the deal. Many of us in this room are carrying something 10 times this big. Because it's a major offense, and it's really hurt. This is an offense when you're 7 years old, your dad walks out with another woman and divorces your mom. I carried that for 35 years against my dad. Or a spouse betrays their vows to you. Or your best friend lies. Or your boss promotes somebody else in front of you when you know you deserve that position. Right? Those hurt. Or your child walks away from your family and disowns you as their parents. You hold on to that, it's heavy. In fact, here's one I didn't even think of the first service. You get this one, it's an extra one for free, and it's real. God doesn't show up like you expect him to in your life. You thought God would, and he hasn't yet or never, and you carry around an offense even at God. And what do? We can hold this tight fist of the grudge because this becomes a grudge that if the longer you hold it, the heavier it gets. Or you can take this little minor offense and you have another option. See, this is payback, but there's another one I call the opened hand of grace. What do? You let it go. You give grace. I call that bless back. In fact, I don't have much time, but I can do these two things in the next 8 minutes and 40 seconds. You can either pay back people or you can bless back. And I tell you what, that sounded loud, but I tell you, when you let go of something that heavy in your life, something that's really hurt you maybe for decades, it feels like a weight just went away. And that's a word called forgiveness. And that's what our children were trying to teach us this morning. It's really interesting. If you go into your New Testament, tucked away toward the back of your New Testament is this little book by a guy named Peter. You ever heard of that name? Yeah, you've heard that name. I even talked about Peter on Easter because Peter's sort of known as the guy that denied Jesus, right? And one of my points on Easter was like, your denials do not define you. You may have failed in the past. You may have failed your walk with God. That doesn't define who you are, because here's the amazing thing about Jesus with Peter. When Peter denied Christ, what did Christ do to Peter? That was an offense to Jesus. What did Jesus do? Forgave him, right? Forgave Peter. He didn't hold on to the grudge, the tight fist of the grudge. He opened his hand of grace. He died for Peter. His blood covered Peter's sins and your sins and my sins, and he blessed Peter back. So Peter goes on to become this amazing man that had an amazing ministry. We're here today in some ways because his ministry reflected out over decades and centuries, and here we are. Why did he become such an amazing man? Because somebody blessed him rather than cursed him and held a grudge against him. And let me tell you something. You can become great as well, but if you hold on to something, you'll never get there. It's up to you to become better or bitter. And I know there are bitter people in this room because somebody's hurt you in a deep way, and you know what? You have every right to be bitter. What they did to you, and I don't even know the details, but you do, and you know them well, and you can't forget, right? One of the lines in here was, she never forgets, she never forgets. She writes it down, and we do the same thing. But at some point, you've got to decide, am I going to hold on to this forever? Because we think this feels good, but it actually doesn't. Payback never really works. Bless back sounds ridiculous. It sounds soft. It sounds like it will not work. And I'm telling you, when you bless others back, even people that don't deserve it, guess what happens? You're free. It's really interesting. You go to Peter's book, and here's what he says. He says, finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Look at this. He's doing this whole little discussion about how to live your life, and he says, be like-minded, sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. When I read that this week, I thought, oh my gosh, what would happen if that described the church? Kensington Church or any church, the community of God. What if the community of God looked like this? We're like-minded, we're sympathetic, we love one another, we're compassionate, we're humble. You know what would happen if we were that kind of community? We would have to do like 12 services on the weekends. We'd have no room for people. They'd be rushing in these doors like, I want to be a part of a community that actually loves each other and has compassion for one another. That's a picture of the church. And then he says, you want to know what that looks like? He says this. He says, do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. That's right after that. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. Now, what in the world does that mean? Because here's the thing. Most of us, it's in our human DNA, it's in our core condition. Most of us, when evil is done to us, we want to get back. Again, it's called payback or revenge. When somebody insults us, we insult them back. In fact, we have a term for it with our language. It's called sarcasm. We think it's funny when somebody uses sarcasm and cuts somebody down. Do you know what sarcasm means? Cut the flesh. It hurts, but we like it. When somebody's good at sarcasm, we sort of think, that's awesome. Whenever I think about, when somebody hurts you, you hurt them back, I always think, I've shared this many times, some of you have heard this, but I'm going to share it again. Remember the stories about Winston Churchill and a woman in his parliament named Lady Astor? They did not like each other at all. It was known. They sort of hated each other, but they had to work together. There's a story that Winston Churchill was sitting at a dinner event in the parliament, and Lady Astor was seated right beside him, and she whispered over to him. She said, Sir Winston Churchill, if you were my husband, I would put poison in your drink. And he was very quick and very witty, and he said, if you were my wife, I'd drink it. Now, why are you laughing at that? Because there's some innocence. That's pretty funny. Some of you don't even care about church. You're like, I just got my joke for tomorrow at work. I mean, it's terrible, right? But it's interesting. Here's another one I probably shouldn't say with children in the room, but true story. They were later at a dinner party, like months later, walking through the hallway, and Lady Astor walks up to Winston Churchill and says, Winston Churchill, I perceive that you are drunk, which he was. And he looks right back at her, and he's witty again, very quick, and he said, and I perceive that you are ugly. And tomorrow, I'll be sober. You get it? Like a double win. It's like, why do we laugh at that stuff? You shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't even say those things. It's like, that is payback evil for evil. Think about this. Most movies that you and I watch, that's the plot. Somebody does somebody wrong, and the whole movie is we're waiting for that person to make things right. And when it happens, I mean, I literally, in 1 minute this week, wrote down all the movies I could think of: Rocky, Braveheart, Gladiator, The Count of Monte Cristo, Equalizer, John Wick, RoboCop. I'm not saying I've seen these, okay? I'm just saying these are the plots. Star Trek, Star Wars, The Princess Bride. Every one of them has revenge. How about Mean Girls? Huh? Take Down the Plastics. I mean, everything's in there. Legally Blonde, Avengers Endgame. Have you seen it yet? Unbelievable. Anyway, I mean, every one of them is like, I mean, I've been in movie theaters when the villain gets what's due him, people stand up and cheer. They did it Endgame several times. People stand up and cheer because, like, that's in us. When evil is done and people respond with evil on evil, there's something in us that likes that. But I'll tell you something. It may work in the movies. It does not work in life. When my dad walked out, and again, I'm a little boy at that point. I never knew this till I was in my 20s. We lived in a gated community in New Jersey. He was an airline pilot, flew out of Newark. Very rich family. We moved from that house to Findlay, Ohio. Why? Because that's where my mom's parents lived, and she's a single mom now. And we had no money. I never remember having any money growing up, even though I started rich. I didn't know till I was 20. My older sister, 10 years older, said, I don't know if you ever heard this, but you know how the deal works with selling the house after the divorce? I go, I have no idea. She goes, Dad called Mom and said, sell the house, we'll split the profit. He was off with his girlfriend. I go, okay. He goes, my sister goes, the house in 1963 was worth almost $500,000. Do the math. 63, all right? Big house. Mom sold it for $67,000. One reason, payback. Oh, we're going to split this half? Here you go. Here's your 30. I'll take 30. She decided to live poor the rest of her life to pay back my dad. I never knew that. Did it feel good? No. Payback never does. It works in the movies, doesn't work in life. So here's this other thing. You can pay back and hold on to it and have a grudge, and you sort of walk around with your face like this all the time. You know these people, right? You can smell it when they walk in a room. There's something going on. There's like a poison in their soul. Dude, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, right? And then there's the open hand of grace. It's called bless back. It sounds crazy. Nobody even has heard of this kind of way to live. There's two kinds of relationships, payback or bless back. And let me tell you something about bless back. It's the greatest feeling in the world. You're like, how can that feel good? I don't know. It just does. When you bless people that don't deserve it, it's like God. He blessed us, and we don't deserve it. You know, Peter goes on in this passage. He goes on, the next verse says, on the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. Peter, the one who was blessed by Jesus when he should have been punished by Jesus, is now the one that says, I've received forgiveness, I give it away, and you should as well. Here's the amazing thing about the gospel, and this is what this whole day is about. You can't even talk about forgiveness without talking about payment for sin. Jesus' death, we looked at it on Good Friday, paid for your and my sin. What's that mean? When you respond to that and say, I'm taking that payment and putting it to my account, I owe for my sin, but God says, I will pay it for you, but you've got to receive that payment. When you receive that payment, that's what it means to become a follower of Christ. When you receive that, the blood of Jesus washes us clean of our sin, and we are now free in Christ. And here's the thing. He says, now that you're free, give that freedom to others. The forgiveness you've received from me, give it to others. Think about this. You want a picture of forgiveness? Jesus hanging on the cross. I watched it on Good Friday before I came in here, the Passion of the Christ, and I watched this scene when he's hanging on the cross, and he says from the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. That's our model of forgiveness. Now, here's the thing. You and I can't forgive others in our own power. It's unnatural. What is natural is payback. Unnatural is forgiveness. So how do we do it? It's supernatural. Here's what's amazing. When you and I receive Christ's forgiveness for our sin, we give our lives to Jesus, we surrender, we are forgiven. And then he says, okay, now you're a vessel of forgiveness. Christians should be the most forgiving people on the planet. And that doesn't mean we just wink at sin. No, sin is dealt with by God. I had a woman come up to me after the last service and say her husband was murdered. How do I forgive the murderer? They need to pay. And I said, they'll pay. She said they got off. I said, they may. I don't know what's going to happen here. They will pay. Romans 12, God says, vengeance is mine. There will be payment. He'll take care of that. But on this side, we have to make a really hard decision to hold on or let go. I just woke somebody up. And I hope so, because forgiveness is that big. And I'll just say this. When you and I understand what we've been forgiven of, oh my goodness, you respond in gratitude. I don't deserve this, but you forgive me? Yes. And then we give that away. In fact, as I wrap up, we're going to take the offering, because you know what the offering is? The offering is a financial moment to say thank you. That's all the offering is. It's a financial moment that says thank you. Our ushers pass a pouch around here. Most people give online here. They don't even put money in the pouch, but if you'd like to, you can do that. But if you're here to watch one of these kids or a grandparent or a friend of the family, you're our guest. This is really a Kensington moment. But man, I welcome you. If you're like, man, I like this church and I love this mission and I've been a part of this for a while and I want to be a first-time giver, that's how you do it. It's just a way to respond to what God has done for us. But I'll just end with this. I know this. In my own life, the greatest decision I made, really third decision, one to follow Christ, one to marry this amazing woman named Ann and lead this family that we have. But third is to forgive my dad and others who have hurt me and offended me. See, here's the truth about life. Offense is life. Offenses are going to be part of life, but to be offended is a choice. And forgiveness is a choice that you and I make. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. I remember I read this book. I'll show you a picture of it called Forgive and Forget. And if you're struggling with something in your life right now, get this book. Lewis Smedes is the very best on this topic. And I'll just tell you something. When I was reading this book, trying to forgive my dad, I told you it took 35 years. The day I read that book, I thought I'd forgive him that week. It took me 5 more years. But I'll never forget what Lewis Smedes said in this book. He said, when you forgive someone, you set a prisoner free, only to discover you're the prisoner. Some of you need to be set free today. And again, maybe this is day one for you to start the process. Smedes calls it for God to do spiritual surgery on your heart. Maybe it's day one, so maybe it's going to take you a year or two or more. Maybe you've already been through the process, and today is the day to say, I'm going to let go. I'm not going to hold on to this anymore. Because what Peter said is, as you bless others, you inherit a blessing. What's he mean by that? He means you find freedom in life. You find the joy and happiness that you're looking for in your life. It's all tied to forgiveness. And by the way, forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person. When I said to my dad, I forgive you, he said, quote, what the blank for? I thought he would respond and say, I'm sorry. He never did. It didn't matter. The person you need to forgive might be dead. It's not about them. It's about you going vertical with God, receiving his forgiveness, and then giving it away. And there's a blessing that comes to your life. It's called freedom to live the life you want to live. I got to tell you what you're going to hear here in a second, then I'm going to pray. The song that you're going to hear, Jack Stoll wrote, 12 years old. It's called Forgiveness. I think that's the title. Is that the title? You're his mom. You should know this stuff, right? Something like that. Listen to this. This is a 12-year-old with the wisdom of a 40-year-old. He says, you and me, we've been friends for such a long time. How could we let something come between us now? You ever had that happen? Happens all the time. We're friends, but there's something. How can we let this happen? He says, one little drop of water at a time contributed to the flood. I'm drowning. That's what happens. It just grows and grows. Oh, what miraculous thing could we ever hope to bring our drifting islands back together? And here's the chorus. You'll hear this several times. Forgiveness mends heartbreaks into whole. Forgiveness turns hatred into hope. Forgiveness, there's no telling how far it'll go to fix anything. Forgive, forgive. Forgiveness is the key. Forgiveness is the key. You and me, we've been friends for an eternity. How could we let something break it now? I guess our candle got snuffed out, and I fear it's all my fault. I'm lost in darkness. And here's the bridge. Even through the heartbreaks, forgiveness, it still stands. And even through the crossroads, forgiveness is my friend. And then at the very end, it says, ooh, 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 ooh. Forgiveness is my friend. Ooh, 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 ooh. Forgiveness still stands. You're going to hear young children sing a song the grandparents and mom and dad are proud of, but it's from the heart of God through children to the community. And I hope as you listen to it, some of us are going, okay, God, here you go. I am not carrying this anymore. Father God, I pray somebody, if not hundreds today, sitting here now or watching on the stream would be set free. And Lord, we know that freedom is offered to us from you because you paid for it, but it's got to be received, and we've got to make a choice to hold on and pay back or to let go and bless back. And Father, I know how hard it is to do. I've walked this journey. And so, Lord, I pray for power and strength for each of us to let go today, to bless back, to give forgiveness to people that deserve to be punished, just like we deserved and just like you gave us forgiveness. So, God, even as we hear these words, God, would you meet us and give us power that we need to do what you've called us to do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Something come between us now. Oh, one little drop of water at a time contributed to the flood. I'm drowning. Oh, what miraculous thing could we ever hope to bring our drifting islands back together? Breaks into all, and forgiveness turns hatred into hope. Forgiveness, there's no telling how far it'll go to fix anything. Oh, forgiveness is the key. Forgiveness is the key. Friends for an eternity. Oh, how could we let something break it down? Now, I guess our candle got snuffed out, and I fear it's all my fault. I'm lost in darkness. Oh, what miraculous thing could we ever hope to bring our drifting islands back together? breaks into whole and forgiveness turns hatred into hope. Forgiveness, there's no telling how far it'll go to fix anything. Oh, forgiveness is the key.
And even through the heartbreaks, forgiveness it still stands. And even through the crossroads,
Forgiveness is my friend. Forgiveness is my friend. Forgiveness is my friend. Forgiveness is still stands. Will you forgive me?
Hey, this is Jack Stoll who wrote that song. Where'd you get these glasses? Oh yeah, you stole them. Great job, great time, awesome. Give him a hand. All right. Here's what you need to know. I got a Kaleo shirt on because you can go in the library right now. You can buy these. It goes to the Kaleo ministry. By the way, on Tuesday, Rogers Elementary will all be here. The school will be here. We do this for them. We train them. This is an arts program for them. It's amazing that we are in the community and the community's here with us. So it's awesome. Make sure you say hi to these guys before you leave. And last thing, next week is, come on, Mother's Day. Big deal here. It's going to be an awesome week. And then ladies, sign up today for Smash. You don't want to miss that. Guys, I would say give your wife, give your mom a Mother's Day gift. Send her to Smash. It'll be a great, great weekend. Okay, God bless you. Have a great week. See you later.